my friends. We are here getting a bit of a late start because with this particular game, I like to wait until the rest of the family has gone to bed. Because my mom made a remark about hearing me making weird voices and being very confused. Just about the weird voices coming from my room when I was streaming the first game, and I got real self-conscious about it. So now I don't like streaming if she's awake. So I was waiting for her to go to bed, and I usually judge that by the fact that when there's no more lights poking from underneath my door. But she forgot to turn the lights off before going to bed. So that happened. But anyways, we're here, and it's time for the final day of Turnabout Academy. Surely this will go great, guys. This will go fine. Be fine. Won't have any, moral or ethical complexities brought into the fold at all. Defendant lobby number 3, district court. You able to sleep last night? Huh? Oh, sleep? Sure, I slept. For a grand total of 0 hours. I've been there. Guten Morgen, you two. Is that good morning in German? Huh. I know Guten Tag. I assume that's like good day, so I assume this is a good morning. Like, buenos dias, buenos noches, and yeah. Guten Morgen, you two. You look like you're ready to put on a real show. But before you do, I have a good luck here for you. The voice print analysis came back, and the results couldn't be more clear. The voice in the mock trial video and the tape recording are one and the same. In other words, the recording's a fabrication. The lab was going there. The lab is continuing their studies of the tape. So far, they found signs of overdubbing. But it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. Who's there? Wait. You see who it was? No, I got a quick look, but they got away. I think it might have been you. I bet he was eavesdropping. I wonder if he saw our hand. Oh, I'm sure he wasn't the only one just now. I bet Robert and Boxgirl were listening in too. I will make sure they don't run for it. That is my final gift to you. Okay. All that's left now is to reach out to the truth. Don't know all the lyrics to this song. Alright. Time for a mini Chords of Steel workout. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Your turn. I'm Athena Sykes and I'm fine. And time for the fun animation. Fun animation. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. The Sykes Brigade is totally psyched. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
prosecution is ready as well. I mean, isn't that right, Prosecutor Blackwood? Yes, but moving right along. Yesterday's adjournment was unexpected yet necessary. But I'll be running a tight ship here today, so no funny business from anyone, understood?
Your boldness, Robin Newman, and Hugh O'Connor have recanted their confessions. But later, I shall grill them at leisure to find whether I can charge them of perjury.
Well, this will complicate matters. Still, one must not overlook the facts. Now, about the school camera photo that was submitted yesterday.
A pity, but that evidence is no longer relevant to this case. The art room clock runs fast. It cannot function as an accurate measure of time. As for the bungling detective who overlooked that, he is paying for his failure as we speak.
Our detective Fulbright. Hope he returns to work with all his body parts intact.
But if that's the case, then what will we...
The accused is the sole person who could have moved the body from the art room to the stage. And I mean to prove it here this day.
Just like Detective Fulbright said. But what else does he have up his sleeve?
My understanding of this heinous crime is thus. The murder took place near the center of the art room, as evidenced by the blood stain. Blood was also found on some pottery next to the window over the maintenance area. Which is to say, the body was carried over to that very window. From there, it was dropped down to the maintenance area below. And though there was nary a scratch to the body aside from the fatal wound, that too was per the script. A high jump mat was employed to cushion the fall. Then a ball cart was used to haul the body over to the stage.
It's not very clever. I mean, it's the same body... there. I mean, it's the same exact body moving scheme as the script. Anyone could have meant to move the body that way.
Objection!
Your propensity to spew words before you think is not very clever either.
You!
Moreover, the prosecution has a witness, which is most unfortunate for you. Witness, it's time for you to come forth.
Well then, will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Hugh O'Connor. I'm a senior at Themis Legal Academy, and I'm studying to be a lawyer. Yesterday, I told that lawyer there that I would testify to the truth. So, I intend to cooperate fully in today's trial. Happy now, Miss Sykes? What's he up to now?
The court appreciates your cooperation, Mr. O'Connor. Now, your testimony, please.
The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. I was watching her from the vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. She was heading towards me, so I assumed she was on her way to the maintenance area. But I didn't have time to stand around and see what she did after that. The real truth hurts so much, doesn't it, Miss Sykes? Or maybe you thought I was gonna bring up something else entirely against our client. Or a snappy comeback when you need one.
He's coming straight at us today, using any means possible. To protect the student who climbed... To protect the student who had to climb up high when setting up the stage, a mat was brought over to the stage from the storehouse.
Our client is the student council president. What's wrong with her taking it upon herself to put the mat away after they'd used
Objection!
Oh, there is plenty wrong. But there is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion enough fall from such lofty heights. There, go. The mat in question was indispensable to moving the body.
Ugh. It sucks being the last to know everything.
I get that. I think I get it now. The drag marks we saw behind the stage were made by the mat.
If the only mat of that thickness was where the body was assumed to have been dropped, it would be hard to deny a possible link to this case.
We're off to a bad start again. You sure you're okay, Athena?
It's game on, Hugh. Game on. I'm gonna turn your arrogant perfect score grin to a teary-eyed frown of failure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't think that would have happened. Because there's the stage. There was those big dividers blocking view of the stage.
Objection!
So, you saw the back of the stage from between the stage and the maintenance area? Let's take a look at this photo taken by Miss Scuttlebutt, shall we? This photo shows the students setting up the stage before the mock trial. You see the big construction screen to the right of the stage in the background here?
Yes, in fact there were a bunch of those next to my house until a few days ago too. It was so noisy behind there, but I couldn't take a peek. Who had to pique my interest?
Exactly, Your Honor. You can't see past those screens. That is their purpose. Let's see. How exactly is that screen positioned again? Uh-huh. Since it was to the right of the stage, it should be right here. And from this vantage point, the witness claims to have seen our client behind the stage backdrop.
Hey my! The screen would have been completely in the way.
That's right. Therefore, the witness couldn't possibly have seen our client from this point. Yow. Ouch.
Order, order! Mr. O'Connor, have you been lying to this court?
The screen. Right. Must have slipped my mind. Are you telling me that you, Mr. Genius, forgot something literally as big as that? There are two kinds of memory lapses, the normal kind and you mouth breathers have. And the genius level lapses of memory that people like me have. Why don't you just remember that? Or why don't you just admit that it was a normal everyday brain fart already?
Man, there is something surreal about seeing the term brain fart used in a video game.
Will the witness now please restate what he remembers minus the lapses of memory?
That's easy. I was on the other side of the screen. In other words, I witnessed Juniper from the stage side of the screen.
Objection!
You were testifying that our client was behind the stage. But I need to remind this court the back of the stage is not visible from the front. to actually see our client behind the inside of the screen. The witness himself would also have to be in that same area behind the stage. But in that case, our client would have definitely seen Mr. O'Connor. Ouch. Nice one, Athena. Keep it up.
Objection!
He's my favorite character in this whole series. Not Blackwell, Taka. Taka is the best bean, and he deserves the world.
Alright, Golden Boy, is this not your chance? Telling the truth will be like a weight lifted from your chest.
The truth? What truth?
The fact that Golden Boy here was where he initially stated. That is to say, he was between the maintenance area and the stage.
Objection!
But then the screen would have blocked his view of...
Objection!
On the ground, yes, his view would have been blocked indeed. But consider how smoke always wants to rise up high.
Athena, look at this photo again. Do you think... something on the other side of the screen? Something high enough to see the stage? No way, this crane right here? I don't remember seeing a crane in there on the day of the mock trial. Me neither. It's probably too safe to assume that it was moved before you found the body. It's far enough, Prosecutor Blackwell. Remember, you promised.
I recall making no such promise. It was you who came blubbering to me about keeping quiet in exchange for information.
What's all this about a promise? Is this about whatever Blackwell was using against him? What's it got to do with going into the crane?
Golden Boy did not go up in that crane for fun. He was working part-time as a crane operator within school grounds.
What? You mean to tell me that a high school student was operating a crane?
The witness, I object to the prosecutor's last statement. There's no proof I ever operated that crane. Actually, it just might be something that proves you did. What? This whole part-time job thing is true. I doubt it'd be limited to a single day. You were probably working at the same site the previous day, too. Is this what you're thinking of, Athena? Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that. I did not notice that was you. Huh. Neat. I was so, caught up in the whole time thing and Leo, Robin, and Means, I did not notice that was you. Yep, as the court can see, this photo captured the crane's operator. And if you look carefully, he bears a definite resemblance to Mr. O'Connor. Are you serious? This is ridiculous!
How very interesting. Let's ascertain whether or not this is as ridiculous as the witness maintains.
The defense agrees with the prosecution. Let's bring the facts to light.
That's all very well and good, but just how do you propose to do that?
The person in this photo has one really distinguishing feature. Not 100% sure, but it's at least worth a try. See his neck? The figure in this photo is wearing a very unique object around his neck.
Well, yes, you can see it right there. But then, are you saying you mean to...
Mr. O'Connor's neck is almost entirely concealed by his tall collar. But that's exactly why I believe this warrants further examination. No, not a chance. It would be a blatant violation of my privacy.
You're a disgrace of a man. Now start unbuttoning that collar before I hack it off.
Yeah, what's the big deal? Let's see your neck. Guess I have no choice.
Oh my.
So where did you buy that neckband, if I might ask? I didn't buy it. It's handmade. There's only one like it in the world. Well, it sure looks like the neckband in the photo. Should we have the photo analyzed? You are one irritating lady. Fine, I admit it. I work a part-time construction job. It has nothing to do with our school. Operating heavy equipment's no big deal for a guy who can parallel park one-handed. But I never expected one of my jobs would take me to my own school.
When you factor in all of the required tests and apprenticeship period, wouldn't you have to be at least 20 to have a license for operating a crane?
Oh, about that. You see, I'm a genius, so, you know.
Objection!
Someone fake some papers. That's what I'm calling.
Let's dispense with this inane charade, golden boy.
No, Prosecutor Blackwell, please don't.
High school seniors are 19 at most. Thus, they fail to complete the requirements. But that does not apply to you. Does it, Mr. O'Connor?
Why doesn't it apply? He's a senior, so he's around that age, right? No, don't, please!
Actually, Golden Boy here is 25. He took a 7-year break from school.
Wait, come again?
Take a gander at the official school enrollment documentation. 'Tis all right there.
Ah! Ouch! 25? He's older than me?
That's... Yeah, I'm almost 30 without a college degree, I don't know.
A 7-year break? 7 years. Just one thing to say. There are two kinds of 7-year breaks. The ordinary kind you mouth breathers take. And the genius kind people will take, that people like me take.
Objection!
But a genius would quickly become a chore for a 7-year break.
I think you have that backwards, Athena. Even geniuses make mistakes. I just happened to make mine only 7 years in a row. Only you could get away with using only like that.
Enough of this jibber-jabber. Suffice to say, the witness was up in the crane when he saw the accused dragging the mat. The accused readied all she needed to move the body immediately prior to doing so. That much is clear. I see no need to deliberate the matter further.
Considering that body was moved the same manner as in the scripts, I find Prosecutor Blackwood's claim to be quite persuasive. Does the defense care to dissuade this?
As long as the mat was used to move the body, Junie's going to be under suspicion.
Athena, I just thought of something. I mean, I'm saying I think it was moved inside the banner, not the mat. What was you doing in the crane right before the mock trial? He couldn't have been on the job at the time. I mean, he was waiting for the trial to start. Yeah, why was he in the crane? You don't think? Your Honor?
Yes, Miss Sykes?
I've got it. I've got an amazing idea that will turn the prosecution's claim on its head. Well, conjecture has never stopped us before.
Interesting.
Mr. O'Connor, you were using the crane to, yes, move the body. Move the body within the bloody banner. The body was just like it was in the script. So it must have been moved like in the script too. At least that's what the prosecution believes. How simplistic. Even foolish. Those are pretty strong words, Athena. You sure about this? The witness is a licensed crane operator. So he could have used it to move the body.
Objection!
Well done, boy. Care to chime in? I intend to say no more on the matter. Save that this does not bode well for you.
Wait, he's on my side this time? Or is this another trap? Watch this! I can use a bow and arrow one-handed.
Okay, I'm not sure how that has anything to do with anything.
Oh, that's a crazy level of dexterity. You can even drive a crane one-handed. That's easy. But operating the crane itself is so complex, it requires both hands. Now, I would have the court look at this. Ah, please tell me that's a ketchup stain. You wish. My hand was injured and required surgery. It's the reason I kept my hand in my pocket all this time.
I've already verified this with the hospital of treatment. Quite a nasty wound, they say.
So, how did you hurt it? I see no need to discuss that. It has no relevance to this case.
2 hands are required to operate complex machinery such as the crane. Ergo, on the day of the mock trial, the witness was incapable of moving the body by crane.
Now, I'm the fool. I planned on moving the crane the night before the mock trial, but then I got injured. Wanting to keep my part-time job a secret, I had to do it just before the mock trial instead.
Here, I thought this was a big break I've been waiting for. Now that the defense's sophistry is laid bare, I would like to have the court recall my claim.
The body was dropped out of the 3rd floor window to a mat near the maintenance area. Then a ball cart was used to move to the stage. See? I've been paying attention.
Well done, your boldness. Now consider this. The accused was sighted dragging that mat. Ergo, it was she who moved the body.
Well, I think you're on the right track, Dina.
You do?
Yeah, Juniper remains the prime suspect if we assume the body was moved per her script. So as the defense, you have to figure out how else the body could have been moved. But... Oh, is he telling me to think of another way besides the crane?
Miss Sykes, if you have a counter-argument, this court would love to hear it.
If you do not, it is time for the verdict. Isn't that correct, your boldness?
Objection!
No, not yet. I have to do that is to show that all I have to do is show that the body wasn't moved like it was in the script, right?
Well, that would show the mat had nothing to do with this case.
It was a sword of great renown that cuts it down
Sophistic? Hold on, I have to... Don't mind me, I'm just... Ah. Plausible but fat and fallacious. At least he's bringing up the fact that it's plausible.
Its name is evidence.
Just, you don't scare me. Force a smile, Athena. You can do it.
What's wrong with your face, Athena? It's got a weird mix of terror and creepy grin.
Just focus on how the body could have been moved without being dropped. How can anyone lower it without just dropping it? It's not like it could fly.
Oh, I think I called this last time.
Or maybe it could. There is a way to zip between the art room and the stage. Someone could have easily used that thing.
Oh, yes, of course. Miss Sykes, the court would like to see what you have for us.
All I have to show is show the tiniest shred of evidence of possibility. The mat and the ball cart weren't used to move the body. This is what I suspect was used.
It's got blood on it.
The key here is the thing that is the art room and the stage together.
Might I propose an idea? It might do you well to tie your lips together, lest you further expose your ignorance.
This isn't exactly the time for black comedy, Prosecutor Blackwell. Anyway, the court will recall the wire on which the school banner was hung. That wire is strung between the art room and the stage, which allows students to run or reel in the school banner from the art room. The body could have easily been lowered down to the stage via this wire.
Objection!
Spare me your armchair theories. This wasn't some kind of high wire act. The body surely would have fallen. Yet there are no signs of blunt force trauma.
Objection!
Oh, you surprised me, Professor Blackwell. Prosecutor Blackwell. You didn't think I actually failed to account for that?
I'm sure that's exactly what he thought.
When we investigated the stage yesterday, the bottom part of the school banner had been tied into a pouch-like shape. And pouches are useful for carrying things. What do you think this one could have carried?
Well, go on. Please explain.
The body was bundled into the pouch-like section of the banner and sent down on the wire. The body would have been down and on that stage in a flash, and there'd be no need for a mat.
I've heard the phrase carrying the banner. The banner doing the carrying.
Objection!
I've no patience for you and your cheap parlor tricks. Your claim is as shaky as a corpse performing an absurd high-wire act.
You have an actual objection, then come out and say it.
I trust you recall the bloodstains left on the art room pottery. The wire had been used to move the body. It would have to be via the window above the quad, and the one with the winch. However, the blood-stained pottery was next to the window above the maintenance area. Ergo, the wire and banner had not all to do with this case.
Oh? The bloodstained pottery. I remember that.
This doesn't look good. We'll be back to the mat theory if you don't do something.
Well, Miss Sykes, I hope you have something better this time than a circus act.
My wire theory is true, and that blood on the pottery must not have been... probably not blood at all. It was never actually tested, I'd assume. Or maybe the victim's blood? I never actually did get it tested. Maybe it's not the victim's blood. Did the police check to see from whom the blood on the pottery came from?
Shame on you, Sarkstone. Have a little more respect for the constabulary. Fulbright.
Looks like they didn't check it. Ah, don't let it get it down. Don't let it get you down, Professor. I keep saying Professor Prosecutor Blackwell, because people keep saying the fact that this is a murder trial at an academy where there's Professor Means and Professor Court. I keep getting Professor and Prosecutor mixed up. Prosecutor Blackwell, everyone makes mistakes.
Spare me your cheek. We will not know either way until the tests are run.
True, but in the meantime, I'm gonna press my claim as far as I can.
Your boldness, I demand that the blood on the pottery be analyzed this instant.
Of course, it shouldn't take long to get the results back.
Oh my, that was quick.
Or history if it turns out to be the victim's blood. Please, please let it be someone else's.
It seems the blood was not from the victim.
What?
Furthermore, a comparison with other parties involved with this case reveals that the blood belongs to one Hugh O'Connor.
Score! Don't worry, Junie. Just try and relax. His hands. His hands were dripping with blood. Your Honor, as we saw earlier, the witness's left hand had suffered a serious injury. He sustained the wound in a struggle with the victim, and his blood got on the pottery. And Junie saw his blood-stained hands as they passed each other on the first floor hall. It's the only explanation that covers everything. Kind of weird that they didn't bring up the fact that there was also a bloodstain on the banner.
There is but one way to turn aside her blade. But do not cast the blame on me. Your grudge is with Sangster now, for she is the one who forces me to expose your secret.
Fine, whatever. Now, how much dirt does he have on Hugh?
Court will observe this odd-looking envelope.
Jeez Louise!
It was inside this that Miriam Scuttlebutt's script was found.
A Scuttlebutts? But didn't the prosecution already claim that this envelope is the one that contained her script?
Circumstances have changed. You see, Golden Boy had hidden this from us all.
Let's see here. My word! Talk about the world's most painful paper cut.
Indeed. You can clearly see that if this envelope is not opened correctly, a powerful spring-loaded blade will shoot it forth, leaving a horrible gash upon the hand. The only one who had been told of the correct way to open it was Constance Court.
You really want to see my script that bad? Well, you better watch out. Read it without my permission, and you'll wish you hadn't. Yikes! Miriam wasn't kidding when she said that. What the Miriam, you are a psychopath!
The blood on the blade is the witnesses. Our genius here tried to sneak a peek at the wrong script and paid for his foolishness.
Ouch! He's the worst genius I've ever seen. Don't worry, Athena. The wound isn't that deep. We've still got the wire theory. Yeah, I've got it. The blood on the window overlooking the maintenance area isn't the victim's. There's no longer any basis for denying the body was moved using the wire and banner. Therefore, the defense once again asserts just that. call yourself a lawyer? Don't you see the glaring contradiction in your thinking? Huh?
The court would like to remind the witness that his role is not to point out.
And you? How can you adhere to such outdated beliefs? Whatever. Seems you've forgotten the two statues that were on stage directly below the wire. A body sent sliding down on that wire would have crashed into them. Care to explain that away?
I believe he's right. The statues and the wire are extremely close together.
I mean, they busted. Those statues were in pieces. What if they did collide? I think that's it.
Speaking of those statues, we still don't know how they were broken. But if we assume that the body crashed into them, that would also explain that loud sound we heard while we were in the waiting room.
Oh, now that you mention it. You and Mr. Wright went out to the stage after you heard that sound correct.
Objection!
Yeah, you heard that sound correct.
Interesting. How very interesting. But may I ask just one question? When was it that you heard that sound?
It was a little after the mock trial had started. Mr. Wright and I were practically bored to tears in the waiting room when...
Precisely. That sound you heard did happen while the body was being moved. That took place during the mock trial.
Which means the body wouldn't have been there before the mock trial started. See, right before the mock trial started, I saw the body.
He said he saw the body before the mock trial. If so,
my claim that the body was moved during the mock trial doesn't hold water. Stupid contradiction. It's gonna get me and our case killed.
Focus was on just three suspects because the body was moved before the mock trial. So that has been a major premise thus far. Your assertion, therefore, contradicts the very foundation of this case.
Objection!
Both sides still lack incontrovertible evidence. So, should we not also treat Golden Boy's testimony with some level of suspicion?
Good point.
The prosecutor Blackville is on our side? Bet he's figured out the truth behind this case. Oh, great. As long as he's not up to not up to something else. The statues were really broken when the body hit them. And Hugh's statement about seeing the body with the mock trial is a big fat lie. Okay, Mr. O'Connor. Let's get to the bottom of this contradiction about when you saw the body. Look me straight in the eye and repeat your statement to me. Like I said before the mock trial, the body was,
I shall only say this once, Golden Boy. You had best tell the truth and do it now. That is, if your head wishes to enjoy the continued companionship of your body.
yikes!
Now, out with it. Did you truly witness the body?
Or were you just lying about it? Well, which is it?
You what?
I never saw the body.
Are you sure about that? Lie to this court again and I'll charge you with perjury.
There was no body on that stage. I've been lying about that this whole time. I'm sorry. Yes. I've exposed Hugh's big lie for what it is. Why would he lie about this to begin with?
Order! The base premise that the body was moved before the mock trial has been overturned. I imagine this has an impact on both the defense and prosecution's case.
Well, first I'd like to thank the prosecutor. This brings us one step closer to the truth. Now at least we know the body was moved using the wire and the school banner.
Indeed, that much I shall concede. Sykes don't know. The body was moved, as you stated, in the midst of the mock trial.
So both sides are satisfied then.
If the body was moved before the mock trial, we have our 3 suspects. But if the move took place in the midst of the mock trial, it is an entirely different story.
Right. All 3 suspects were in the mock trial. That gives them solid
Objection!
alibis.
How simplistic. Did you forget about the student in charge of the audio? Amidst the mock trial, she was the one soul who could leave and re-enter the lecture hall.
What's this? Who is this person in charge of the audio?
Oh no, how could I forget? It was... Yeah.
Indeed, the one who could re-enter the art room amidst the mock trial to move the body was none other than the accused, Juniper Woods, for she was in charge of the audio.
I feel like that's just a bit too much to put on one person, just in general. Even beyond the murder and the fact that it continues to implicate her for murder. Just putting that out there.
No!
Well, yes, I see. That does make perfect sense.
This can't be happening. Instead of exposing Hugh's crime, Junie's in even deeper. No matter how you slice it, we're cooked. Here I thought Prosecutor Blackwell was on our side, at least on this issue.
Twisted Samurai strikes again.
Twisted? Like dirty rotten.
Your boldness. It is time to put an end to this farce.
The prosecution has presented a quite convincing case. But the defense has one last chance to voice any remaining objections. Well, Miss Sykes?
Apollo, what are we gonna do? I've got nothing left. Nothing. Nada. Niente. I'm trying to think of something, but I'm drawing a big blank too. Poor Junie. Unless we figure something out. She'll be... Objection? Objection? Well... I object to... Stop right there. All ears to me. It's time you heard about the rare genius of Hugh O'Connor. Listen, and you will hear the secret behind my perfect crime. Perfect.
Crime?
Hey, this is some serious deja vu. Didn't we just go through something like this yesterday?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
It better not be one of his... Another one of his enraging traps.
The murder, the moving the body, the cover-up, was all sprung from my brilliant mind. Huh? Go ahead, arrest me. The real killer is right before you.
Order, I say. But, Mr. O'Connor, You already confessed yesterday, then earlier today you recanted your confession.
As if you mouth breathers could comprehend my genius. The ends justifies the means. Now bow down and kneel. Kneel before my great and maddening intellect.
Objection!
Enough. The only thing maddening is the ignominy.
Alright. Public shame or disgrace. Got it. At least he uses actual fancy words and doesn't just make them up like red, white.
You bear for all of us to see, for it is impossible for you to have been the perpetrator behind this crime. There is no perfect crime, only a perfect alibi. For you were at the mock trial. It is silly that I must remind you of this, but you were a participant the entire time. There shall be no mercy if you persist in hindering this trial with your silly little act.
She doesn't seem the least bit shaken by Blackwell's threat. Listen, Mr. Prosecutor. Calling that a perfect alibi is beyond contempt. Your Honor, I'd like to take this opportunity to offer further testimony. I will now demonstrate the very moment of genius that transcended even perfection.
Hugh's confession.
You won't believe this, but I used a body double. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double almost did. I slipped out stealthily while my double took care of the trial. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent.
I have a question I was hoping the defense and prosecution might help answer. Is it just me, or does the witness's testimony make no sense at all?
No, it's not just you, Your Honor. All I got from listening to that was a headache.
Yeah, that was just plain weird. Especially the whole thing about a body double.
Well, I believed it's not just me. And the prosecution? Your boldness. Summon an ambulance this instant. The witness is stark raving mad. Yes, I would think that would be for the best. Now then, let's pretend that never happened and move on to my verdict.
You people don't believe me? Not a matter of not believing you. It's more along the lines of questioning your sanity.
Yeah, the funny farm just called. They want their genius back.
Shut your pie holes. The intellect of a genius transcends even logic. Besides, don't you guys have that weird device for testimony like this? Widget is not a weird device, and I don't waste him on ridiculous testimonies.
Easy there, Tiger. Think of it this way. We don't want a verdict to be passed just yet. So how about we give Widget a try? Well, this is against my better judgment. But I'd like to conduct a short therapy session.
Your better judgment? I'm a judge and it's far beyond mine, yet I find it hard to say no. Prosecutor Blackwell, I trust you have no objections? Prosecutor Blackwell?
Did he just leave? The prosecutor said rubbish. We'll be out on a stroll, then left with Detective Fulbright. He just ducked. He just dipped. That's really funny. Man really just went, fuck this shit, I'm out. Just left Taka to perch on the judge's head. That's really funny. How does he get away with stuff like that?
Then, I'll interpret that as meaning he has no explicit objections. Alright, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your therapy session, because boy howdy does this freak of nature need it.
I've seen my share of crazy trials, but this one takes the cake.
Huh.
Mr. O'Connor, yesterday you said that you didn't really care about Miss Woods anymore. I already told Juniper, so I might as well tell you. I don't really care about her anymore. What? Why? Yeah, well, Juniper reported my secret to Professor Court. His secret? Oh, the bribe. She wanted nothing to do with me because I had disappointed her. That's why I don't care about her anymore. I was never trying to protect her. My confession was always about one thing and one thing only. The truth.
Objection!
Oh, Mr. O'Connor. You feel great happiness in the fact that you might help set Miss Woods free.
So much so that it overshadowed all of your other emotions. What are you... I can hear it clearly now.
The rain is gone.
Mr. O'Connor.
The rain is goner.
The discord you've been trying to suppress. People don't normally feel like that when you confess.
Blah, 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 blah. So you really was trying to protect Juniper?
Yes, I'm sure of it. Hugh's feelings for her are the real deal. That means his confession is...
Finally figured out the obvious, have we?
Yep.
Why, Prosecutor Blackwell, you're back. The confession was naught but lies, save for the part about being in the mock trial. Can we all agree now that the killer is the one in charge of the audio, i.e. the accused?
Cat! Couldn't have taken a longer stroll. No, you haven't unraveled the genius of my body double trick yet. You can't be serious. Do you really expect to believe that you had a body double? Yes, I do. But if you think I didn't, then prove it. And we quit here and Juniper is found guilty. Or we play along with Hugh's delusion. Let's go with the least worst choice. But first, let me update his testimony.
Shock? There's nothing there. Yeah, so that's stealthily. At the campus. Sadness, and then an influx of happiness that Juniper would be innocent. But the fact that happiness is a thing happiness is present in every single one except here.
Got it!
I didn't almost lose, you say. Very odd. You exhibit happiness the entire time, except during this statement. You don't know when to give up. Wait, now that I think about it... No, don't. Stop making stuff up. When I left the lecture hall... It was during Professor Mead's pre-trial speech. That's when I moved the body, and then slipped back in just before the verdict. So you're saying you were there at the moment your double was about to lose? Yes, I was. Naturally, I wasn't happy when I saw that. In any case, I was at the far end of the lecture hall behind the screen. I figured no one would see me if I came in and went through the doors there.
Objection!
Sykes-Stowe now. How much longer will you indulge him in this charade? While it's true that none of the audience might see him go through either of those doors, the faculty seats on the balconies are a different story. They have a splendid view.
I thought you could do better than that. The lawyer's bench is on the right side, when facing the front of the hall. I use the door on the right side near the lawyer's bench. That means my movements were only visible to someone in the left balcony seat. But that seat was empty at the time, which is only natural. After all, it belonged to Professor Court, and as we all know, she was already dead by then. That can't be right. An empty balcony seat on the left side contradicts this piece of evidence. Yeah, that would be Professor Means.
Take that!
I have no idea where this contradiction is going, but I don't have any other moves at this point. Guess I'll just have to follow it and see where it takes me. You said the left balcony seat was empty, but was it really? I saw it with my own eyes. It was definitely empty. What about this diagram? According to this, Professor Means was supposed to be seated in the left balcony seat. But if you left the lecture hall during his pretrial speech, he would have been standing there at his seat, addressing the students and faculty. No, this can't be right. Still not fully.
You do no one any favors by exposing the falsities of his confession.
I've told plenty of lies so far, but this part is true, I tell you. There was nobody in the left balcony seat. You gotta believe me. Doesn't seem like he's lying this time. Okay, Mr. O'Connor. Let's have you testify again, but this time don't spare any details. You got it. I'll repeat it as many times as you'd like. I mean, my ingenious escape act warrants repeating, considering I'm the real killer. All I really care about is whether that seat was empty or not. Don't you believe me? It's true, I tell you. Getting angry about that. I went through the back door without anyone noticing. Then all I had to do was go through the empty audio control room, which leads to the hallway, so I was perfectly... Why is this sudden sad, big influx of sadness?
Got it!
I detected powerful sadness and fear right after you said this part. It's as if you said something you shouldn't have. What's wrong with you? You shouldn't reveal a person's inner feelings for all to see. Mr. O'Connor, it's you who's revealing your inner emotions by the way you speak. Ah, I just noticed that while Widge is active, the screen reflects the display where Widge's face usually is. That's fun. It's usually green most of the time, so I haven't really noticed it changing colors. Plus, I have a good idea why you were feeling sad. You're a horrible person. Can't you just leave me be? You said you went through the empty audio control room. That's not true, is it? There was someone who returned from there from Professor Means finished. But there was someone who returned from there once Professor Means finished his speech. And that someone who was in the audio control room was Juniper, I'd assume? She's the one in charge of the audio.
Take that!
Hold on, I want to check something. Has it been updated? It has. It has been updated that he's 25. That's neat. I know you realize there was a problem with your statement as... Yeah. I know you realized there was a problem with your statement as soon as you were saying it. That's why you felt so uneasy. If the audio control room was empty, that would mean Miss Woods was roaming around the campus. Ugh! Mr. O'Connor, if you really want to protect Miss Woods, just tell the truth. If you believe in her, revealing the truth is the same as protecting her. Juniper's innocent. That's the truth. But in this dark age of the law, the truth can be easily twisted to serve anyone's needs. When the end justifies the means, your only choice is to fight back with lies. Hugh's heart won't hold under this battle between truth and lies. Is there something I can do to make him recant his false testimony? I fear nothing now that I have lost everything. Go ahead, Prosecutor Blackwell. Cut me down if you wish.
I thought you'd never ask. With you gone, we may swiftly proceed with the verdict.
Yeah! He broke out of his shackles again?
I don't want to be the poor accountant down at the detention center.
Hugh O'Connor, in defense of your valor, I will limit your suffering with one clean.
Hold it!
Could you just wait one moment before you cut him down?
Silence!
You will not.
Never learned about this in last school. Careful, prosecutor. Remember that shocking experience you had last time?
Very well. Golden Boy may live. For now.
Enough already, Mr. O'Connor. Miss Woods would never want you to protect her this way. She values the friendship between the three of you more than anything. That's where you're wrong. She doesn't feel anything for me now. What does it matter anymore? I might as well tell you everything. This is no doubt news to you. But I'm not and never was a genius. Sorry, but I already knew. Me too.
Don't forget about me. Though in all fairness, it was pretty obvious. I thought he was a genius at first, but the stuff he said was crazy.
Ugh. I need to rub it in. Just shut up and listen. It all started several days ago. I accidentally learned that my parents had been paying good money for my grades.
But that's bribery.
So the bribery wasn't Hugh's idea. All of my perfect All of my perfect scores were the product of cold hard cash, not genius. Even worse, when I confronted my parents about it over the phone, Juniper overheard me.
Oh my, what a terrible misunderstanding.
Don't let me lie. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm no genius. I'm completely worthless. A perfect zero. Gosh. Jeez. Phew. Even so, I still wanted to make it up to Juniper for disappointing her like that. So I wanted to clear her name by pinning the blame on me. And she probably hates me now, so it'd be a relief for her to see me locked away.
You were trying to help her. Then why'd you testify against her?
You were the ones who told me to tell the truth yesterday, so I thought if I did, it would help her.
He wasn't trying to provoke us? So we seriously misunderstood him, in more ways than one.
The detention center yesterday, Junie was in tears when she opened up to me. But the truth is, the friendship between the three of them is still rock solid. If there was something that could help me prove that to you.
We even have proof of our friendship. Yeah, as long as our friendship lasts, that will be care.
I know. What about that proof of friendship they mentioned?
I wonder where or what it is. I didn't buy it. Yep. The neckband. Jeez Louise, we've been at this for almost an hour and a half and we've only gotten to Hugh.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's... No, that's definitely it. That band around his neck. Mr. O'Connor, that band around your neck, that's your proof of friendship, isn't it?
Proof of friendship? Is that anything like a proof of purchase barcode?
Court, evidence is everything. That's why the three friends created friendship bands. It's the evidence that proves their friendship.
Oh, how very interesting. And chic.
If they have doubts about their friendship, they can look to the proof they have on hand. That's why Mr. O'Connor's hand always goes to his neck when he is pressured. It proves that he still has feelings of friendship towards the other two. Doesn't matter if I wear it. If those two...
Objection!
They feel the same way too. I know they wear their friendship band somewhere. Julie and Robin must both feel the same as Hugh. I just know it. Everything Hugh has said leads me to believe that. In fact, he may also have just told me that the others wear their proof of friendship.
I assume it's where they're easy to touch.
All we have to do is think back to their testimonies. Ready? Miss Newman holds her arm when pressured. And Miss Woods holds her wrist. I know Miss Woods very well. She would never abandon her friendship with you over something like this. And taking the blame for her will only succeed in making her terribly sad.
Yeah.
Robin, those bands of friendship that you made, just for the three of us. You may have forgotten about them, but not me.
Hugh! Hey, Hugh!
And to think, I
How does
should
he
have
get
known
that around
better
his
than to
neck?
doubt my best friends.
No. I didn't kill anyone. And I didn't have a body double. I didn't move the body. I didn't even see it. And it may look like I'm speed reading. Zen in the art of mastering the bar exam, but I haven't read a single word.
Well, you could have fooled me. In fact, you did.
You. So, Miss Sykes, can I place my trust in you? I'm gonna save Junie, So yes, you can place your trust in me.
Then am I to understand that the witness is recanting his confession?
Yes.
The most roundabout trial. I much prefer the turnabout variety myself.
I mean, this is Turnabout Academy.
Now we are back to the fact that there was but one suspect who lacked an alibi, which is, in the end, the truth you've been seeking this entire time.
Oh, we're back to square one. Now I'm exhausted and depressed. Probably doesn't matter at this point, but I might as well update the mood matrix. Huh? What does this mean?
Further resistance is futile. The time for verdict is nigh.
Objection!
Please wait.
What sort of devilry are you up to now?
What if our client was the only one without an alibi? The trial would continue, right?
Well, yes, I suppose it would. But after such a thorough investigation, does such a person really exist?
Yes, we found someone. May have seemed like a major roundabout. But Mr. O'Connor's testimony has cracked this case. There's no more noise. Hugh is telling the truth now. During the mock trial, the balcony seat opposite him really was empty. Which now means there's one person unaccounted for.
Bye-bye. Besides Junie, the only other person without an alibi during the mock trial is Aristotle Means.
Take that!
The balcony seat was empty. That much is true, isn't it, Mr. O'Connor? That's right. How many more times do I have to say it? So basically, Professor Means wasn't where he was supposed to be during the mock trial.
Silence.
Need I remind you, every last soul in a lecture hall heard him deliver his speech.
Objection!
I know, and that's not in dispute here. And let me explain how a speech could be given from an empty seat. It was,
I'd assume pre-recorded. Oh. Oh.
I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. What if the speech was pre-recorded? The only way the speech could have been given, it's the only way the speech could have been delivered from an empty balcony seat. Wait, are you accusing Professor Means? It's insane! I mean, he's the one who gave me the tape recorder. Take this to the police. Take this to the police, he said, and tell them you found it. What? Really? Wait a second. Mr. O'Connor, did you just say that Professor Means gave you that phony recording to you?
Phony. The defense will refrain from hurling unsubstantiated allegations.
Well, I said he gave it to me. What do you mean it's phony? Wow, who could have seen this development? The voice shouting "You're a goner," as recorded on this tape, was dubbed onto using a line in our client said during the mock trial video.
Why, this is an extremely crucial piece of evidence.
Professor Means gave Hugh the phony tape. If that's really true, and Professor Means has a guilt written all over him. Your Honor, the defense moves to call Professor Aristotle Means to the stand.
Silence.
The
seat was never empty. 'Twas but an oversight by a dullard of a witness. An inmate who was formerly a surgeon once told me something. He said it's often all too easy to overlook critical symptoms.
Well, we're not going to overlook this oversight. If the speech was pre-recorded, the basis for suspecting our client would be shattered. Let's check with Professor Means and see whether the empty seat was a witness and it's oversight. A verdict without first looking into that would be inconceivable.
That's enough, both of you. Now here's my opinion on the matter. While a surgeon overlooking critical symptoms is a problem, the witness's oversight too must not be overlooked. Thus, as the matter of whether Professor Means was or was not in his faculty seat, I believe we must ask the professor himself.
I agree. Professor Means should be here in the gallery today.
Do as you please. Will you please state your name and occupation for the record?
Certainly. I am Aristotle Means. I teach the lawyer course at Themis Legal Academy, and let me add that while I welcome any opportunity to assist with the trial, I don't care for this undue suspicion.
Don't worry, Professor. We're just interested in the mock trial video right now. We just need to take another look at that speech you gave. Can we count on your cooperation in this?
Very well, if that's all you're interested in. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. We need to find some sort of evidence that shows this speech was pre-recorded.
Alright, I believe we're ready. Let's roll the video.
Good afternoon. The mock trial, the crown jewel event of the school festival, will begin shortly. When I was a student, I too could hardly wait for this day to come.
Now, I've forgotten how long and boring his speech was. Zzz.
Wake me up once this is over.
Ain't no fair.
The experiences of our youth have a powerful and profound effect on our adult.
Ah, you there. Wake up. Pay attention.
Huh? Eek! I'm awake. Isn't that right, Your Honor?
What? I'm awake too. Wide awake, you see?
Once again, our pure white lady E-Justice will be watching over all of you today. Pure white lady justice? That's a gold statue. That's a gold statue. That is about it. One of my better speeches, if I do say so myself. I even saw some of our students in tears, with tears in their eyes. He's obviously not familiar with the phrase bored to tears.
Listen, Sykes, Dono. If you have subjected me to this epic study of tedium without purpose, Taka will feast on your tongue after I've cut it out.
You were asleep the whole time.
Well, Miss Sykes, did you notice anything strange about that speech?
Could I please hear that last part again?
Again with our pure white lady justice. Yeah. Yeah, called it. I got that one. He's probably used to a white plaster lady justice statue, not the gold one there.
There, I finally found what we needed. Professor Means, I have only one question about your speech. Why does that last part we just heard contradict this?
Take that!
Professor said pure white Lady Justice would be watching over them. But the Lady Justice in the video isn't even close to being white. It's gold as gold can be.
I'm not sure I can wrap my jaw around that to test its authenticity.
I didn't say it was made of gold, Your Honor. Now, it's true that this statue is pure white, but it broke before the mock trial began. The one you see here is its replacement.
Yeah, well, that's a shame on every count.
Ironically, this gold statue sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the white one. Meaning, the professor wouldn't have made a mistake in its color if he'd been present.
It seems that I have caused some confusion, but it was merely an oversight on my part.
Objection!
The statue was in the middle of the room. How could you not know what it looked like?
Well, I was in a balcony seat. Furthermore, the statue had previously been white.
I'm afraid this isn't sufficient evidence of the speech being pre-recorded. We had our answer long ago. The accused was the only one to leave the lecture hall.
No, wait! There's gotta be something that can prove that the speech was pre-recorded. According to the mock trial video, the speech started here, and then ended here. It's a little over 10 minutes, but I doubt anyone wants to be tortured again. It's only a little over 10 minutes? I felt like it went on forever.
10 minutes is a long time for a speech. As I mentioned yesterday, I have sat through some very long, drawn-out sermons and speeches that have genuinely gotten me to the point that I was falling asleep in my seat.
How'd you figure out how long it was?
Easy, there's a timestamp in the top right. All you have to do is subtract the time the speech started from the time it ended. The speech goes from the 10-minute mark to the 20-minute 35-second.
Wait a second. I could have sworn I've seen the same interval of time listed among the evidence. Maybe there's a way for me to use the speech to show that it was pre-recorded.
The recording, I'd assume? I think it's the recording. Or the voice print analysis? Maybe. Oh! Oh. Testing is underway. The tape has about 10 minutes and 35 seconds of noise requiring for further testing.
Take that!
Yeah. I would like the court to take a look at this.
And this is?
This is the voice print analysis that proves that the voice on the tape recorder belongs to our client.
Yes, but didn't we just establish that the voice on the tape recorder was a fabrication?
We did. But what I'd like to focus is on the noise that is also there.
Noise?
Yes, the defense believes that it resulted when the previous recording was erased.
And what do you hope to prove by that?
The length of the noise is what's important. It's 10 minutes and 35 seconds in all. And what did the timestamp read at the moment Professor Mean's speech began?
That would be exactly 10 minutes.
Now, let's fast forward this long-winded exercise in boredom to the end. Okay, stop. The video timestamp now reads 20 minutes and 35 seconds. Based on this, we know the time it took for the speech alone.
Right, subtract 10 minutes and you get 10:35. 10 minutes and 35 seconds.
Right, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Same as the noise on the tape recording. I assume you all understand what this means. Professor Means pre-recorded the speech that had been and where the noise is now.
Silence!
You seem rather confident considering this is a mere happenstance match of numbers.
Objection!
But is it really just numbers?
The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far, they've found signs of overdubbing. It's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased.
Police are analyzing the noise as we speak. Won't be long until we know what was originally there. I'm sure of it. The professor was trying to create an alibi with the recording by pinning the crime on Junie. He's not gonna get away with it. Not on my watch.
Miss Sykes, I believe you are well aware of my methodology. Even if Juniper were the perpetrator, I would vigorously defend her as per my word. And to that purpose, I offer to be her lawyer. Alas, look what's happened.
All I've stated are obvious deductions derived from evidence and testimony.
Truth be told, I had no intention of testifying. I had been keeping quiet for Juniper's sake, but now that you have cast this blame upon me, I have no choice but to reveal the truth.
Oh, this doesn't sound good.
I will now reveal the truth behind why I had to pre-record my speech before the mock trial. I, Professor Means, always say what I mean, and mean what I say by all means. The defendant came to me with what she said was very important, and by necessity secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. But when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it, because it's the humane thing to do.
Oh my, so you're saying the defendant threatened you?
This has to be a lie. I mean, everything about it lines up too perfectly to be true.
On this most consequential of occasions, let me be completely frank with you. Juniper has truly taken to heart my teachings that state the end justify the means.
I don't believe you.
When she asked me to defend her, she said I must also prove her two friends innocent.
Her two friends? The witnesses?
Correct, Hugh O'Connor and Robert Newman. I was to ensure all three walked free. All three were to achieve their dream. That was the result Juniper would achieve.
I am losing my ability to speak slowly but surely.
And she was even willing to threaten me, her own professor, to that end. You no doubt had high praise for her ruthless tactics.
Yes, well, that is why I vowed to vigorously defend her despite her threatening me.
There was a time when lawyers merely sought the truth if they wished for victory in court. Alas, those days are over. Now, in the defense of justice, order and all that is good, the end justifies the means.
I'm so sick of hearing that phrase.
Though it truly grieves me so, I must tell you this. Forsake the truth if it's victory you seek. Steel yourself for this new courtroom reality.
And does it? He's gonna regret dragging those dismal, depressing ideas in here. Since he's already surrendered to the dark age of the law, it's up to me to fight it.
Why so silent, Sykes, don't know?
Something the matter? This is a court of law. This is no place for long-winded talks about idealistic principles. That's why I'm gonna let the evidence do the talking.
Let's not get carried away now, Miss Sykes. It will not do to have you attempting to discredit my doctrine. Do not force me to rectify this situation.
No, go ahead and rectify it. Only if I lose and you win, that is.
Hand me what she said was really important, and by necessity a secret. She asked me to record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder. Why would you... If that's the case, you pre-record it and then dub over it with something to implicate Juniper. That doesn't make sense.
Objection!
So let me get this straight. You were trying to help Miss Woods. It's nothing more than a bald-faced lie. No offense, Your Honor.
Such defamation of character and your hair follicles, Your Honor. It's an outrage.
The Sykes will clarify her statement, but leave my hair follicles out of it this time.
Oop, didn't mean to autoplay.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. Now please take a look at this. The witness gave this tape to Mr. O'Connor. Then he slyly whispered, "Take this to the police and tell them you found it."
There was no whispering, slyly or otherwise involved. I simply did that out of kindness.
Objection!
The tape contained our client's voice. In short, it is incredibly damaging evidence. Why would it even exist if the witness wasn't trying to pin the murder on our client? They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but not yours. You never had good intentions. Only lies to protect yourself while blaming another. You, Professor, are the embodiment of the dark age of the law. Yeah.
Why, you little... You dare call my teachings and methods lies? Oh, and suddenly he's a Spartan. Demis Legal Academy is a proud institution. It's the most powerful in the world. You'll never forget what true education and lawyering means once I'm through with you.
Huh? Professor Means, what's with your hair?
Quiet! No talking in class! Ow! Eyes and ears up here, everyone. Homeroom is now in session. We will begin with roll call. Athena Sykes.
Huh? Here?
Apollo Justice. I'm fine. Here. Fool! The proper response is here, without any extraneous information. Ouch!
Here?
Next, Your Honor. Here. See, class? That's the proper answer. Simon Blackwell. I said Simon Blackwell. Are you here or not? There's always one, isn't there? Well then, I'll just mark you absent. Now get out of my class this instant. Get out? Very well. If that's your wish. Who am I to defy my homeroom teacher? Is that such a good idea, Prosecutor Blackwell? That's such a good idea. Prosecutor Blackwell is free of his shackles. Just so happens I was a member of my high school's disciplinary committee. But is that really so shocking? Constabulary lapdog to teacher's pet. What a malleable mutt you are, Fulbright. Very good, Bobby. You've just earned a gold star and a promotion to the head disciplinarian.
class is now in session. Why do I have the sun nurse to go to the nurse's office with a stomach ache? Pay attention. I am not the killer. Juniper is. This will be on the next test, so you'd better be listening.
Objection!
But Professor, you created the phony tape to pin the blame on Juniper. Plus, you were the only one who could have moved the body during the mock trial.
Athena, you disappoint me so. I think you would label me a murderer. Now pay attention. The murder occurred on the 23rd between 6 and 8 p.m. But I was already at home at the time, so how could I have been involved in this crime?
Objection!
Professor Means, can you really prove that you had gone home by that time?
Can you prove that I was still at school?
No, I can't.
So you admit it? Well, you just earned extra credit for your honesty. But you have also earned yourself lavatory cleaning duties until you graduate.
Ew! I do enough of that at the office. No way, man! I totally object! Robin? I can't believe I fell for the Professor Silvertongue lies.
Why you? How dare you talk about your teacher like that?
I'm not listening to you anymore, man! No way, no how! Now, I have a confession to make. You know those two statues that were on stage? I didn't make them all by myself! Statues on stage? Do I want to know where this is headed? I mean, yeah, he's right there in the photos. Alright, hold on. Yeah, he's right here in the photos. How did you miss that, Athena? I was able to finish one of them, but the last bell rang before I had time for the other one. So I asked Professor Means to make it for me. In other words, the professor was there on the stage after the last bell. Right? It would have been way past 7 before he could have finished.
Professor Mead was still at school. This is incredibly important testimony.
The professor told me. I'll take care of it. I thought my parents would let me be an artist if I said I made those statues myself. I'm so sorry for not telling the truth! Robin.
Quick, somebody get this juvenile delinquent out of my sight! Simon, you're head honcho among the delinquents. Do something! Gad! Who's in charge of the class pet here? Not interested. But if you want a class in swordsmanship, I'm your man. Of course. The only real blades will do. No swords in school. All weapons will be confiscated. Gad! Nurse! Nurse! Where's the school nurse when you need one? It would seem Sargstono seeks a showdown, Professor. In which case, it would do you well to draw your staff quick as lightning. Very well. Then I will do just... I will just have to prove my innocence myself. The real lessons begin in second period. Prepare to be served, old school style. What's that? Oh, never mind. Your testimony, please. Now pay attention. Robin took over half a day to complete the one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue around 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper Wood, saw the two statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I have possibly had time to go to the art room and commit murder?
I bet he's basing that off of the clock in the art room that was an hour fast.
You're saying the defendant saw the finished statues? Precisely. She said so herself at the detention center yesterday. Her defense team was there and heard her say so too. Don't try to deny it now.
Yep. I'm going to kind of just skip through this. Because it is past midnight and I want to get through this testimony relatively as quick as I can. Because the late start is, yeah, hurting that.
Alright, the professor was there when that matter came up. Before I address the professor's charges, I have a question for Robin. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that in 1.5 hours? It'd probably take me at least twice as LONG. So personally, I think it would be incredibly difficult to finish it in that short a time. Gah, didn't exactly help our case. But he won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means. Why were you in such a hurry?
In the legal world, your body is your capital. The early bird gets the worm. That's why I get to bed at 9 o'clock p.m. each and every night. And that's why I was working as fast as I could. I didn't want to miss my bedtime. Well, Reggie conceded that I never left the stage. Well, Miss Sykes, do you accept the witness's claim?
I'm gonna accept that.
I've tried everything. I still can't prove anything. Guess I concede.
I couldn't hear you. Say it louder this time.
I concede that Professor Means never left the stage.
Yeah, that's right. But what took you so long? I was there on the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime.
I can give up here.
I'm afraid I have to side with the witness, Miss Sykes. Unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
Not yet. The defense still has an objection.
Oh no, I think I'm putting stuff together. Maybe. Athena, you've thought of something?
Well, as I said, not yet. Oh, so it's time for some legal smoke and mirrors. Not yet, Athena. It's not yet time to quit. It's at times like these, when it seems like there's no way out, that you have to. Yeah, I have to turn the case upside down. Instead of focusing on whether Professor Means could have gone into the courtroom, I should focus on how he could commit the crime without getting there.
Wait, hold on, I think I just read that. Art room, not courtroom.
Seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. But I'll use any means necessary, even casting stones, if it'll distract her. Ah, who brought this bird to school?
Sykes don't know.
If I heard one word of your usual jibber jabber,
I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, yet the witness was on the stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between those two key facts?
I accept the premise that the professor was on stage the entire time. The only other answer we got is something else. The only other answer is that we got something else wrong. Wait, that's it! Every last one of us made a huge mistake. We were totally wrong about the crime scene.
Because there's a blood stain on the banner. And if Constance had been transported down in the banner, then yeah, okay. I think I'm figuring stuff out. Because the blood should have already dried by the next day, so going down in the banner shouldn't have left a blood stain. Because the blood flow would have stopped by that point.
If Professor Means was on the stage the entire time, then he must be the killer.
Ridiculous. The defense has become utterly incoherent.
Objection!
No, just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was.
Continue, Sykes-Stoner.
Okay. The murder was actually committed here.
Yeah, so right there on the stage.
The greatest riddle in this case has been how the body was moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, that means the body was never moved at all.
Silly girl. When the body was found on the stage, there wasn't a drop of blood on the stage floor. Surely there would have been some blood if that's where the murder was committed.
There wasn't any blood on the stage. Really? But there was blood on something on stage, time of the murder. But there was something on the stage at the time of the murder that's now bloodstained. The school banner.
Take that!
It's true. There were no bloodstains on the stage floor. But there was something in the stage that did have a bloodstain. And that would be this. This school banner. No blood could have gotten on the floor if she were killed. If this were under the victim when she was killed.
Oh my, that's quite a compelling theory.
Silence!
What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense.
That was a pathetic attempt. You must put every inch of your body into your attacks. The autopsy states that the cause of death was loss of blood. Yet only a trace amount was found upon the banner. Where did the rest go?
Probably the burned banner.
Blood getting on there when the body was moved by the wire makes more sense than not. Wait. Very good, Simon. Tell me, what's your first choice for higher education? I'll write you the ultimate in recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Objection!
Actually, the defense has something to explain that as well.
You do?
There was only a trace amount of blood on the school banner. And there must have been something else the killer used to soak up the blood. All I have to do is figure out what.
The Governor's banner.
This is what soaked up most of the victim's blood.
Take that!
Why, that looks like another piece of fabric on top of the school banner.
It's the Governor's banner that had been especially made for the school concert. Since it's on top of the school banner, the blood would have hit it first. Could have easily absorbed most of the blood like a dishcloth. And only a small amount would have soaked into the school banner below. It makes totally sense for the school banner to have only a little blood on it.
So that banner absorbed the blood like a dishcloth. Yes, that would explain it.
Gaviner's banner was like a dishcloth? Surely it was at least towel quality.
Simon, don't just stand there. Do something.
Silence!
Sykes, Stono. You are learning to wield the blade quite well. But how will you respond when I come slashing at you like this? The remnant of a large bloodstain was detected on the art room. But why would there be blood if the murder occurred on the stage in vain?
The bloodstain in the art room was faked. How? I'll tell you how. It was all someone needed to do was... all that was needed, it was something that could transport the blood upstairs. And that something was a piece of evidence we've just finished discussing. The killer used this to bring up the victim's blood and up to the art room. The burnt, I assume. Yeah, it'd be the burnt banner.
Take that!
I think you'd stoop so low as to prevent mere garbage to this court.
It's only garbage because someone tried to destroy it by tossing it in the incinerator. Someone was most likely the killer, seeking to get rid of crucial evidence. The killer used the wire to bring the blood-soaked Gaviner's banner into the art room. Then the blood was wiped onto the floor to complete the ruse. Makes perfect sense.
Order! Order! This is quite a development. I think the body was never actually moved. Hold it right there. The body must have been moved. How else do you explain that loud crash you heard during the mock trial? If it wasn't actually caused by the body crashing into the statues, then what was?
Hadn't thought of that. The loud crash wasn't the body hitting the statues. What was it indeed? The notch in the school banner shows that something was carried along the wire in it. That's true. I know what I have to find. Something that was in the art room before that the murder, and then on the stage after. The object that was sent down the wire to crash into the statues was the Lady Justice statue.
Take that!
That wasn't part of...
Yeah! That statue!
Yes, I believe this is the statue that broke the other two, not Professor Court's body. The unique statue you see on the right is a pure white Lady Justice from earlier. Professor Court accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the other day before the mock trial. But she used her own unique artistic sense and technique to repair it, as you see. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally Lady Justice.
Silence!
Perhaps you are onto something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move a scrap heap relic in such a tedious manner? Excellent question, Simon. Keep them coming.
You know why, but the fact that you won't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are. Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial. During that time, Professor Means was fabricating an alibi with his pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, then Lady Justice was moved in order to... let's probably say... point us to the body. To create a witness. Professor Means used his pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial. He wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing us to the body and cementing his alibi.
Gah! Not quite a persuasive argument. For a while, I thought you weren't taking this trial seriously. Well done.
Oh my gosh, this asshole.
You should never underestimate me, Athena Sykes. Professor Means always means what he says, and says what he means by all means.
Fine then. Say it already. I'm waiting.
The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until late the next day. Countless students passed the stage until they met the lecture hall, the mock trial. So answer me this. Why didn't anyone see the body that entire time?
That can be explained by...
If the victim was murdered on stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered. And of course, there was nowhere to hide a body upon that stage.
This is not good, Athena. Her claim is that it's this close to being beaten to a pulp. I know. But we've come this far.
Consider yourself schooled. I couldn't have possibly killed anyone. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been, and it always will be.
Just wait a moment.
Poor Juniper. She must be seriously... she must seriously regret having asked you to defend her. To add insult to injury, you nearly had Hugh convicted for murder. Surely, you haven't forgotten that little fiasco. Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against her friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer.
Don't tell me I failed once again. Failed to save someone near and dear to me. I've worked so hard to become a lawyer. I even studied psychology. Has it all been for naught? I'm just doomed to relive that over again. Drama. Oh gosh.
Athena, what's wrong?
Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Relax, Athena. Breathe. It's not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done. Is this how it ends? Forgive me, Junie. I couldn't protect you like I said I would.
You leave Athena alone, man! She's the one who saved me!
It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. Ow. Smack my hand on my desk. And she saved the friendship between Hugh, Juniper, and I. I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best. But I raised false charges against you. That's not all. I've done some seriously unforgivable things. What's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. And I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and give me a chance to re-examine what's important. But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I've come so far is... It's not over yet, Athena. Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Judy, I know you're better than most I know you better than most people, Athena. And I know you'd never surrender to the dark age of the law like Professor did. Thank you, Judy, but I feel like I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence!
Stop your bleating this instant. You're looking at a fool.
Prosecutor Blackwell?
There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you have worked for thus far? It would not do to have you disappoint you-know-who. You're wasting your time. You have nothing on me. No evidence or anything to establish my guilt. You are helpless before the might of lawyers, for whom the ends justify the means.
Objection!
Don't worry, Athena. You're doing fine. Truth will always win against people like him.
But, Apollo, what am I supposed to do now?
Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case. If there's truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now, let me see you smile. Remember what Wright said? The worst times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles.
Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Athena Sykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your utter defeat. Professor Court wasn't killed in the art room. She was killed right where her body was found. We know because there wasn't any time to move the body from anywhere, or the body there from somewhere else. That means the body had to have been hidden somewhere on the stage until it was found. Let's think along these lines and see where it takes us. First up, when did Professor Means remove the body from its hiding place? Let's see. What was he doing right before the body was discovered? He was using the span of time his fake alibi created. To move the body where it'd be more easily spotted.
That during the mock trial, there'd be no one passing through the quad.
Therefore, the only time Professor Means could have removed the body from its hiding place is during the mock trial. During the speech. It was during the mock trial, specifically during the speech. Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location during his long pre-recorded speech. The professor also moved something to the stage that specifically wasn't there before. The white statue. During the mock trial, Professor Means wrapped the White Lady statue in the White Lady Justice in the school banner, and sent it zipping down on the stage with a crash, killing two birds with one stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like the murder occurred in the art room. But Was there anywhere to hide a body on that stage? Doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be some place. Wait a second. How about something that should have been finished, but was only mostly done? Something that was used to cover the body up. But it didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged there on stage. In that way, no one would suspect there was a body hidden inside. The unfinished Wright statue. What was already there on the stage and capable of concealing a body? Oh, I know. The Mr. Wright statue was never actually finished. The body that was wrapped under some cloth to hide what was really inside, cleverly disguising it as the boss's statue. Miss Newman gave up on the Wright statue. Did Professor Means finish it in a single night?
Yes, what an impressive feat that was.
Objection!
No, his so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work. The murder of Professor Court.
Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow.
He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Wright. With the body wrapped under a piece of cloth, it looked just like a statue.
What?
I second that what?
Now this is getting interesting. No. No, this is getting preposterous. How would such a thing even be possible?
Objection!
We'll never know until we try. Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going. Okay, Apollo. Time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Wright. I'm going to pose like the statue, like so. And now I want you to wrap me up in a cloth, so I look like a statue. I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magical cloth?
I'm afraid that isn't the right color, Mr. Justice.
Oh, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I could do, Your Honor. Alright, I think this about does it. Well, what do you think, everyone? Do I look just like a statue of Mr. Wright, or what?
Looks like some random person to me. Aren't those statues a pair of busts? Phoenix Wright has that spiky hair on the back of his head.
Forget the hair! The statue's head is way bigger than your average person's anyway. Kinda handy for me to try it anyway. Wait, that's it! The hands! Her arms are raised over her head, and there are dark bruises around her wrists. Oh, right. Yeah, the professor was probably tied up. I didn't. The marks on her wrists indicated that she'd been tied up. Apollo, tie me up in a new pose. Wait, you're not into this kind of thing, aren't you? What? No! Besides, it was your idea. Just tell me how to do. Your hands already. Professor Court's wrists were tied together, and I can't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given her hands were tied? Probably behind her head? I'd assume? Oh, I think I'm seeing this. Apollo, tie both my hands behind my head. This makes it possible to make the spikes on the back of me. See? This makes it possible to fake the spikes on the back of Mr. Wright's head. Sure, but what about the statue's arm? Just Blackwell and Taka just staring at Athena.
both arms behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose. Yeah, it'd be awfully hard to make an objection pose like this. I can't help but think you've forgotten something, Athena. Something on the body that you don't have right now. What did the victim's body have that I don't? An arrow.
Take that!
Oh, right! There was an arrow sticking out of her side. Okay, Apollo, take that and plunge it into my side. What? Are you crazy? Fine, go get some duct tape. Rapido, schnell!
Alright, alright. I don't even know the other languages to know bossy when I hear it.
Fatal arrow to the side. Spiky hair created from 2 hands. A masterpiece in the making. Now cover me with that cloth. Remember to make the arrow stand out, okay?
This is a lot.
Mommy, the arm's too short.
Shh, remember your indoor voice, dear. Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough. But what else could you use for the arm? Still won't give up, eh? I must commend you. If only for your spirit and determination. Of course she's not giving up. After all, she puts me through. She owes an explanation, and one that makes sense. Now, disappoint me and the penalty will be doubly painful.
Yikes. Guess I better get it right this time. Think, Athena, think.
Professor Court was murdered when she stopped by the stage to see Professor Means. If it wasn't premeditated, he must have used something close at hand in his little ruse.
Apollo, show me those stage setup photos again.
Like that? Right now? Okay, hold on.
Please, please, please be in this photo. It just has to be.
His staff? It's his staff. It's the only kind of long, skinny thing.
Take that!
Got it. I know what he used for the arm on the statue of Mr. Right.
This is absurd. There is no such thing in this photo.
Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there.
Staff? This is the spear of a great legal warrior.
Whatever. Just hurry up and lend it to me. The length is perfect. Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object to such an awesome arm. Okay, go for it, Apollo.
Sure, I'll give your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up.
Objection!
It's Phoenix Wright. Look! That famous lawyer! That's definitely him.
I'd know that pose anywhere.
We did it! Didn't we? Well, am I not the spitting image of the legendary Phoenix Wright? The man who will bring us out of these dark ages and into a brilliant golden light.
Golden light, unless you before me. It's a pink specter of a man.
That's just because Mr. Wright likes the statue. He's positively tickled pink. Get it, Apollo? He's tickled pink.
Ugh. That joke deserves a pink slip. Seems the gallery is quite impressed with the defense's sharp thinking. And the witness? Pah! The resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence.
Objection!
Not so fast there, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be a little more than coincidence. Prove that his spear was thrust into the victim. All I have to do is test the spear for blood. We had assumed that the victim's jagged wound came from the arrow being forcibly shoved in. But if the wound was from the spear instead, then we should be able to detect traces of the victim's blood on it.
Your Honor, a brief recess, if you will. By any means possible. What if I get rid of my spear? Wait, what if I burn it? If I do that, I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you.
Objection!
Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. Now, I ask you in the gallery. Help me decide the professor's fate. Retake bar exam. 30% salary cut. Dismissal. One of the more subtle breakdowns we've had.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what has become of our witness Aristotle Means? It's as Sykestone expected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to this heinous crime. All of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there.
Right. I'll teach felons that the ends justify the means. So much for rehabilitation. Can I ask what Professor's motive was?
I could barely make out a word he said, on account of his shattered teeth.
One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was a surgeon, and a former dentist too.
I eventually had him put it to pen and paper. Turns out Professor Means was the one taking bribes. The victim had suspected him after a report from a class snitch. That led her to question him at length the day of the killing. Right there on that stage. The result, the heinous crime that was brought before this court. The fool, Mark Newman, had come to know of the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim at their own all in order to make the killing look like the one in the script and thus frame the defendant.
A scrap of paper with Hugh's name on it had the same mark as Professor Court's planner.
Yes, about that. Those planners are bestowed upon all students graduating the top of their class.
Really? So then...
Indeed, once upon a time, Professor Means was also awarded the same notebook. The handwriting is being analyzed now. But like as not, the scrap belonged to him. This too was evidence of the bribery scheme the victim had obtained. Know that Constance Court was clean, and that only Aristotle Means took the bribes. See, to think a professor would murder a colleague, then try to pin it on a student. If this is the dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. The first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. This court finds the defendant, Juniper Woods.
Yay! Not guilty.
I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you if
we ever hope to restore the law to its former glory.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll work as hard as I can. Maybe one day I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference.
Proudly serve Professor Court's memory. Do not let her death be in vain.
That's the last thing I expected to hear from him today.
Court is adjourned.
No.
That's sweet.
District Court Defendant Lobby number 3.
Thank you, Tina. I really mean it.
It was nothing, really. I can take the biggest tangled mess of the case and unravel it just like that. I don't know. You look pretty wound up there at the end. Literally and figuratively.
You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich, Buster. I wanted to thank you too, Apollo.
Don't mention it.
The way you were always there for Thena when she was in a bind. And at the detention center where your smile gave me hope when there was none.
No. Someone's got a crush.
It was like warm rays of the sun shining down on the peaceful woodlands. I think you're an absolutely amazing person.
Thanks, Juniper. It means a lot to me. I ship it. Just a second. Just
gonna... I promise. I'll get there someday. That's why until that day, I'll... Guys, I got some big news! I mean, this is huge! Oh, am I interrupting something?
No.
It's okay, I think. So what's the big news? School festival! It's supposed to have been canceled after what happened, but...
You just got a call. In memory of Professor Constance Court, who worked so hard to make it happen. The festival is being extended one extra day until tomorrow.
Really? Alright!
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis Legal Academy.
Hi, Yuri Lowenthal. That is not the voice I
It's
expected.
time for the guitar serenade.
I don't know, I think I wanted to hear her sing.
Wow, that was so much fun! School festivals are amazing! I think you and Robin are getting a little carried away. His singing voice, Juniper. He could melt my H-E-A-R-T.
But you're right. Thank you for that training seminar. Just remember, the objection pose is all about attitude. Oh, congrats on your mock trial win. Although Robin had you for a while there.
I did, didn't I? I'm just glad we're back to how we used to be, thanks to Athena. You know what? I think I'll stick with becoming a prosecutor after all. I'm gonna make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court.
Mock trial loss? What loss? Wait, did they reprise the trial and Hugh won? So, does this mean it's really gonna happen?
Juniper, there's something I've been wanting to say to you. Huh? Oh, is he gonna do what I think he is? Juniper, Can we still be friends? You know, best friends. Like we've always been. Best friends? Weren't you going to profess your love to Juniper if you won the mock trial? No, I was gonna confess that I'm not a genius, and that I'm really 25 years old. You already dragged that out of me during the trial. Oops. Listen, you too, Robin. Miriam? Me too. Miriam's got this tactical espionage thing, action stuff down to a science. I've been thinking. It's up to us to put an end to the dark age of the law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results from the truth. And the end never justifies the means. Count me in. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship.
You bet. What about your BFF, Apollo?
Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? Yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have. Which reminds me, we're supposed to meet up and gossip about the new girl in the office.
Hey, you're talking about me behind my back?
So what kind of guy is he anyway? I'm gonna guess either a killer or a murder victim. Well, if I had to describe him in one word...
So, after some slight arm twisting, Apollo promised to bring me to meet his friend. Fortunately, that promise was never meant to be fulfilled. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate.
Murder victim, got it.
And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as well.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. The discord in our ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold and distant. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind? End.
Holy cow. The Cosmic Turnabout is next. What a good trial. Holy cow. That case is really, really good. Shout out to Dual Destinies. I think the one game in the entire series that managed to thoroughly avoid third case syndrome. Like, not only is it like a good case, it's really, really good. So, good job, Dual Destinies. And boy howdy, it's going to depend on how things go forward, but Athena is shaping up to become one of, if not my favorite character in these games. I already liked her, basically, from her inception. But this is some good stuff. But that will be something for a later date. Because it is almost 1 in the morning. We've been going for over 2.5 hours. And I need to go to sleep. So, once we'll be back maybe tomorrow. I haven't decided on that yet. It will depend. My voice is was kind of feeling rough going into this, and between Robin and Blackwell and post tone shift means. My voice is a little shredded right now, so it'll depend on how my voice feels and if I'm not exhausted from work, but we'll see. But we are now halfway done with this game. We've got the 2 more cases, and then there are 2 more main story cases, and then the one where we cross-examine an orca. Let me just... Okay, so yeah, Spirit of Justice also has all that. Ah, so that's where you get to the museum. Okay. Neat. He's only got 4 cases in Apollo Justice and then 6 cases in the 3DS games. Boy howdy, we're gonna be at this for a bit. But we'll see. If I don't stream tomorrow, then I will see you guys next week for the start of the HP for Heroes Gamers Outreach charity campaign. Don't know if we'll be doing Phoenix Wright during that week because I want to make those streams a bit more special. But we'll figure that out. I'll figure that out probably by Sunday or Monday. I've got some ideas, but we'll figure it out. But until then, I will see you guys next time. I gotta get some sleep. You guys have a good night, and farewell.